This episode is brought to you by...
No, it's not.
Spindrift.
I was going to make that
Ready?
joke. That was pretty close. Episode 159, the Spindrift episode.
It's 159?
Yeah, lemon. Is lemon your favorite Spindrift flavor?
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh, cheers.
Is lemon your favorite Spindrift flavor as
He
well?
doesn't have a favorite.
No.
It's not your favorite?
No.
Or it...
What's your favorite?
It's not my
It is.
favorite. My favorite is grapefruit.
Oh, that's Ethan's favorite too.
Okay. If you guys couldn't tell, I'm joined by Parker and Luke, just like always.
Luke.
Yep.
I'm Parker.
Parker does love wearing his aviator sunglasses, as you know. They're his favorite. No, Parker is doing adult things. He's on a beach trip, you know, just adult vacations. And Luke is back from a church camp, and yeah, he's back from that, and then he's going to get his wisdom teeth pulled, so...
It's a lot of personal information that you're sharing. I hope you have permission to do that.
Well, I felt like I was pretty vague. Luke being back from a church
Just saying.
camp and getting his wisdom... They knew he was getting his wisdom teeth pulled, because at the beginning of last week's episode, we talked about how we're going to watch a Marvel movie with him.
Yeah.
Because his wisdom teeth got pulled.
And about how he's
No,
dying.
it's fine. I never... And yeah, he's dying because he has he's had
Stop
nosebleeds.
spoiling the episode. You gotta give hints, and then they want to go listen to them, not watch them.
Well, but
Well, like,
why would you give a teaser for an episode that already happened
Because
in an episode that's currently happening?
But speaking of sports, though, why am I the only one wearing a sports-related shirt?
Yeah, I didn't have... That's an upset. I didn't have that
Sorry.
being the
I
way
don't
this
have
would
a ton of
go.
sports shirts. I only have like my big fella shirt.
Yeah.
EAGLES Eagles.
I didn't wear a sports shirt last time either, so... Yeah, I'm on quite a run here.
You should just for the next like episodes until it stops. You should just not wear sports related
Sports
shirts.
shirt? Why?
Because
Maybe. But
Just
shout
as a
out to Luke.
statement.
I put on the backwards hat just for you, buddy, in honor
And an
of
Eagles
Luke
shirt.
and his
Buddy.
backwards hat.
He would wear an
and
Eagles shirt.
The Eagles shirt.
It's a
All
Luke
for you,
outfit.
Luke.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
here.
good.
I'm here for
Are you
you.
gonna get your remaining wisdom teeth pulled just for him?
I should. I probably should.
Should we start off with that story? Of
Sure.
Your wisdom teeth?
So before I turned 18, and I guess had to get dropped off of my parents' insurance plan, they set me up with an appointment at our dentist to have my wisdom teeth removed. Well, I don't remember much of it other than waking up sort of in the middle of the procedure with the dentist's knee on my chest, and he was I thought he was going to pull me out of the chair.
Your head off the back of the...
Yeah.
rest.
No pain, but I was like, wow, like, this is really intense. And then they discharged me saying that it took too long to get these two out. So
The right side.
The right side, correct. For viewers, this is my right side. So they had to reschedule me to do the other side. Well, I went off on my own to college and whatever, and never rescheduled to get the other two pulled. So I still have these two, my left side wisdom teeth, but not my right side. And so even though I went through a lot of orthodontic work, those two remaining wisdom teeth have shifted. They've pushed. So now I have an overlapped tooth
On the bottom.
on the bottom.
Bottom middle. So hopefully that doesn't
Cheers.
happen to Luke. Yeah!
Yeah, hopefully the doctor or dentist isn't like
The good thing is, I think, that he won't... I don't think he'll have time to listen to this and hear that story before he goes in to
Well,
get his
you
wisdom
can-
teeth pulled. So
you
he
can
might...
try to kind of push the timeline just to help him out.
Maybe I'll send him just this before I actually post it,
There you
just so
go.
that he can hear that story,
and then
so
Luke,
he's scared before
Luke,
he goes in.
You should record a reaction video to seeing
They're
this
funny.
clip
Wait, what?
before the podcast goes out. That way Owen could cut and paste that into the episode so that we get
He
to
could.
see you.
He could. I
Just
would
saying.
bet he's asleep because he didn't sleep at all this previous week. But
Sounds like a personal problem to
that's
me.
possible. So I'll try. I'll see what I can do.
All right.
But if you don't see a video here, then just know that didn't happen. It might happen on the
right
Instagram
here.
at some point. So follow us on Instagram.
So what's our first topic?
Well, pretty much this episode is gonna be centered around F1.
Oh, not the Eagles.
No. The only
What-
Eagles
what-
topic is that they have new all-black helmets, and they're pretty cool.
What they do?
Yeah.
All black?
Not all black. The wing is still white, but it's like their green
kinda
helmets, but it's black instead of green. It goes with their all-black
They
jerseys.
should do like the Kelly
so
Green ones though.
That's coming in 2023.
Why wouldn't they just do it now?
Because they're taking a long time to work with Nike to design it, and they want to make sure they get it right. So
Yeah.
they're giving themselves time. They
But
don't want
they
to
could
rush
just
it.
Do the Kelly Green on the regular helmet with the retro logo thing.
It's not that easy.
How is it not that
There's a
easy?
whole
They just did it
design
with the black
process.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but it's the same design though. It's just black.
one. Exactly. You could just do that.
Oh no! The Kelly Green ones have
Yeah,
a
you
different
can't- you
wing
can't
and
just-
stuff.
You can't just make it black.
Exactly.
You have to find the right kind of black.
Right shade of black. That's true.
You have to,
Is it matte, shiny?
That
Exactly.
looks way better.
I mean, yeah,
Is
I
it-
agree. Do
Yeah.
you change anything about the wing? They had to decide to keep the wing the same. That was a decision that had to be made.
Is it metallic?
Metallic is also
Is
pretty
it-
cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
Uh,
They had to look at all...
bioluminescent?
They had to...
What?
First of all, they had to decide to make it black. They could have looked at, like, a white helmet option or, like,
no.
any other...
They could have. They could have looked at a
variable
gray,
helmets.
a gray helmet option. They
No.
could have looked at a brown, like a football
Okay, no,
option.
no.
That would
we're
be
done.
so
They
ugly.
could have looked
No,
at a
no.
yellow, like the eagle's beak or talon, or well, this is the talon.
No.
Yeah.
That looks. A yellow helmet would look really gross.
Foot, eagle's foot. That'd be a sweet helmet color.
It's just, yeah. It's a yellow helmet with then,
With
like
the-
a white eagle's foot. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Except it wouldn't look good at all. But yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
The goal is for it to look good.
Yes.
But, I mean, yeah. Yeah, we're not talking too much about the Eagles.
Okay. Sorry.
Too much.
Yeah, well, not that much happened with them, so I think we just covered it there. So we did that.
Had you posted or did you? So I saw a photo of the new helmet.
Yeah, that was...
Had you posted that?
Yeah,
Okay.
our account. Put
Okay.
it on our story.
All right. So if you didn't
Yeah.
see that, where can the people find it?
The Eagles Instagram.
Okay, but I was trying to promote you. But
But it was on
you
our
wanna
story, so it's gone.
Oh, that's right. Stories don't last.
Yeah, so...
Stories don't last. Just like Spindrift.
Okay,
You drank
Dad,
all of
It
it
doesn't
already?
last very long because it's so delicious.
gotta
You
chug
should
it.
go buy some.
Yeah. It's a continuing...
It's way better than LaCroix though. Like
Just
honestly,
random ad
the
reads
flavor
throughout
is
the
like
episode.
so much
It's better than every other sparkling water.
That's kind of true.
Hands down.
It actually tastes like the actual like thing.
Carbonated water, fruit juice.
Well,
Well,
this
this is
says
in particular lemon
lemon
juice.
juice.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing in it.
it's
No sugar
3%
added.
juice.
No sugar. Well, I mean, it has sugar
And there's
sometimes
one carbohydrate.
because
it's literally
lemon
nothing.
juice not much sugar. That's
Well,
why
it's
it's
water, yeah.
lemony.
It's a
But
single carbohydrate.
It's literally just
anywho,
water and
Who would
carbonate.
you say is the spindrift of F1 drivers?
oh man,
Ooh, that
Not
could...
Hamilton. Absolutely not. Well, what do you mean the spindrift? There are multiple different flavors of spindrift.
like current. You're saying current?
Yeah,
Formula One
right now.
drivers.
This season.
So Bennett, think about this.
Or who's other sparkling waters? Who's the LaCroix of F1?
LaCroix kind of sucks.
Who's
Yeah.
that other one that I'm forgetting? The other sparkling water.
There are a lot.
Nah. So
Perrier or whatever.
the LaCroix,
Sure.
the
That's not the
LaCroix
one, but yeah.
of F1 drivers for me would have been Nikita Mazepin,
Ew, no.
but
He's
since he's a Russian driver, he got released when Russia invaded Ukraine, rightfully so.
But he also was kind of bad.
But he was terrible,
Exactly.
like not good. Why is this even here? Why does this product even exist?
You don't like LaCroix.
No, I don't. It's
LaCroix-
gross.
It's not gross.
It is. But currently,
Izzy, that's the other sparkling water.
That's secret glass sparkling
no.
water. That's sparkling juice. It's,
Oh,
there's
my
a difference
word.
on
Yeah,
This
yeah,
has juice in
not
it.
the same.
Okay.
3% juice.
Izzy is almost soda. It's just soda with fruit juice in it.
Is there an F1 driver like that who's like...
Let me finish with the. But so current F1 driver
Yeah.
would be,
What?
oh my gosh,
What?
Latifi, Nicholas Latifi.
Latifi? What does he place in this?
I mean, first of all, he's Canadian, so sorry.
He didn't
LaCroix.
finish in the newest race, the most recent one, in
Yeah.
France.
Also terrible. Seems to always be confused about what's going on. It's like, how? Anyway, which LaCroix is confusing too because they will not release what the actual ingredients
What?
are
I
that
did
make
not know
up
that.
their like essence flavors.
That's kind
I
of
didn't know that.
scary.
Yeah, it's top secret.
Interesting.
So
that's probably
it's
not
it's not
good.
real juice. It's not anything.
Yeah.
It's Nicholas Latifi. What?
They
Why?
should make a Nicholas Latifi
What?
sports
Why?
drink.
Nicholas Latifi, why are you here?
They should
Why
make a-
are you? Why do
okay.
you have a seat in a Formula One car?
Well, because he
Jeez,
is
like-
actually, Dad, I'm pretty sure he could be better than you.
But hey, strong opinions are what gets
Yeah.
people.
Okay.
Of course he's better than...
If
Exactly,
I was just
so
like,
why-
if I was
Of
just
course
like, you know, like I'm sure he has a really rough time of it. Like,
yeah.
you know,
That's
for
not fun.
but, like nobody's watching for that. People want strong opinions. Just like they
Bennett.
want real
my
flavor
word.
from their sparkling water.
Stop bringing that.
Real lemon juice in this spindrift.
Who's the spindrift of F1, Bennett?
Well, I would kind of agree with that, but
No, the spindrift.
he was
saying
doing
the
LaCroix. Yeah.
Top tier.
Well, I would say Leclerc, Charles.
Why?
Because I don't like Verstappen.
Because he's the real deal, and he tastes better.
What?
Mm,
Okay, that was a little weird. But yeah, Verstappen's just like way too aggressive,
mhm.
and it kind of gets annoying sometimes.
Okay.
But Leclerc, like, I don't know, he's just a cool dude.
He's more smooth, maybe?
Yeah,
Oh,
Like
see.
spindrift.
Okay, all right.
it goes down the throat smooth. That's weird.
You said dad's
Okay.
Don't know how to
Yeah,
You
go
want
back
to
to
transition off of
Yeah,
that?
I'm
No.
not sure how.
Should we talk about this week's race specifically?
Yeah, sure. So
What's the backdrop on
So this says Spindrift
Oh my
sparkling
goodness,
water
Stop.
and
Everything's
real
gonna be based
squeezed
off of-
fruit. I feel like the person who's being really squeezed right now is Carlos Sainz.
Definitely.
He's getting squeezed every time he tries to overtake. Like today,
They told him to pit while he was.
he was
trying
faster. He was faster than Perez. What did we see? Just in the highlights, not even watching the whole entire race, he got squeezed out like 3 times trying to get past Checo. So like
Checo?
Sainz is the real deal, and
Doesn't say the real deal.
he is the real fruit. He has racing pedigree from his dad, who was a champion WRC
Nice.
racer driver. Sainz
Isn't it
family,
WRX
just
now?
like Mick Schumacher, who's coming
Yeah.
up. We're very excited about Mick and his future.
He's the goat.
But
He is.
but Carlos is getting squeezed, not just on the track. He's getting squeezed by his own team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
He had
commentary,
Well,
Bennett.
He had
Well-
the fastest lap.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah,
he was the driver of the day.
Yeah. For example,
Well,
driver of the day, fastest lap.
and well,
Fifth
the one,
place.
Yeah, 5th place. But who cares about that?
Which- Sorry, go ahead.
While he was trying to pass Perez at the one point, they told him to pit. While he was literally like about to pass.
Yeah.
So he got kind of mad.
He's fighting with these are like they're taking these corners at hundreds of miles an hour or whatever, like high speeds. Let's just say high speed cornering, and they're within inches of each other. And meanwhile, his pit team comes on the radio and starts being in his ear saying, "Okay, box now." It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is like a fighter pilot flying
maybe
right next
not.
to another.
Yeah.
jet, like dueling it out, and he's just got an advantage, and now you're going to tell him to pit? That's just, he's getting squeezed by his team. He is the real deal, and so he's managing, like I read in the comments after the race today, somebody put it really well. They're like, why does Ferrari feel like it's okay for Carlos Sainz to be their driver, their race engineer, and their strategist? Like, that's ridiculous. Just driving that car at those speeds in that close proximity to another car is difficult enough. He should not have to be thinking about all that other stuff. The team should be handling that. He's getting squeezed on the track, and he's getting squeezed by his team.
Do you think he'll leave Ferrari?
No.
If they're not really helping him out much?
Signs.
If they're not helping too much,
I think
he might leave.
I think his preference would probably be to stay with Ferrari, but...
Because Italian.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here, Owen, and I'm going to compare him to someone that I know that you really respect in a different...
I was going to compare him to someone.
Completely different sport.
Oh.
But Tom Brady with the New England Patriots.
He is not Tom Brady.
Nothing but success. He's already regarded as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I know that this has been discussed a lot on the podcast already, so I'm not going to go into all the details of that. Could he have stayed in New England and continued to be successful? No. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe. But an opportunity came up, whether he created it or his agent or, the Buccaneers, or I don't know how all that transpired. Maybe you could speak to that, Owen. But would Carlos Sainz leave Ferrari if somebody created a better scenario for him? I think yes. Because why not? I mean, Formula One is a dog-eat-dog world, which is why I don't understand how Nicholas Latifi is still in a seat. Again, like, why? What? But that's not the point. I think he would almost be obligated to take a better deal, a better position, if he could get one. If he could be a team's number one guy. So, like, for example, McLaren has Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. Lando is their number one guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the team strategy is going to revolve around Lando. Same thing with Red Bull. They've got Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. The team strategy revolves around Verstappen. Right now, Charles Leclerc is Ferrari's number one guy. So, Sainz is getting squeezed not just on the track, not just by the team, but by his teammate driver. Not that Leclerc... I mean, I think Leclerc is a good guy, and he's doing what he needs to do, but he keeps screwing it up, which is frustrating.
How did he screw it up today?
So, he starts on pole. I don't remember even what lap it was, but he crashes out on his own. Nobody... Like, what?
He just spun.
Just lost the back end. Around he goes, into the barriers. He's out.
Yeah.
Completely. Verstappen wins the race. That's terrible. Like, that should never, ever happen. I don't know if it's his fault or Ferrari as a team's fault for not bringing him in. They said that his tires were degrading. I don't know.
Why didn't they tell him to pit?
But you have an advantage. You even have a time advantage. You should not be pushing to that point of losing it and losing the entire race because of it. So, anyway, they used Carlos Sainz as a tow vehicle in qualifying to get Leclerc on pole. That meant that Sainz started almost at the back.
Yeah.
And got himself all the way up to 5th. But he's the number two driver. He's the number two driver. So he doesn't get priority in team strategy. So if he can get himself onto a team, do you agree with this, Bennett?
Yes.
If Sainz has the opportunity to get himself onto a team where he is the man, right? Because he is the real deal.
Yes.
Yeah, we get,
Like Spindrift.
Like Spindrift, real fruit.
They're not sponsoring us, though.
Carlos is the real
you get
deal.
sponsored.
He's smart.
Not really.
He's aggressive when he needs to be aggressive. He knows when to back out when he needs to back out. Like, he doesn't take unnecessary risks. Yeah, he's good. And he's young enough that he has plenty of lifespan left in his career. If I were him, I'd be taking it. If he had the opportunity, even to go to a lesser team, but be the number one guy, I'd probably do it just because Ferrari is screwing up so bad.
Well, Ferrari did the same thing with Michael Schumacher, and I forget his teammate, but they kept giving, like, Michael wins. They would, like, use his teammate to basically do the same thing. And then, like, his very last race, he gave his teammate the win. So, no.
See, that's good stuff.
Nicholas Latifi is currently in 20th out of 21, and he has 0 points, 0 podiums since his debut, too.
Which is how many years?
I don't know.
He's been in
there
that
for a
seat for
decent
like
time.
2-3 years.
Yeah, and he has 51 Grand Prix entered since his debut and 12.
So he's
12 this season.
He's
51 races.
He's at 20th out of 21.
Yeah.
Who's 21?
Nico Hulkenberg.
Nick. That's not even right.
Yeah,
There's
it is.
20 grid places.
That's what it says.
Well, this says 21.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg came back. He like subbed in for somebody who had COVID, I think.
Oh.
Who was that?
Lance Stroll.
Was it Stroll?
It's Lance Stroll, so this isn't updated.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Stroll's in 18th.
Lance Stroll's definitely better. He at least has points.
Lance Stroll is another. He's not as bad of a driver
He's had
as
3 podiums.
Yeah, he's not as bad of a driver as
Since his
Latifi.
debut.
He has improved a lot over the last 2 years, but
He's been in twice as many races.
I'm still not
Grand Prix.
convinced that Lance Stroll deserves that seat, other than, his dad bankrolls the team, so
That's a fun dynamic.
Exactly.
you get a seat.
Yeah. I don't
But-
think we set up. This is the
Oh, sorry.
French Grand Prix.
French, yes.
Where are we at
Vive
in the
la
season?
France. What?
Where are we at in the season?
This is one over halfway
Okay.
Yeah.
mark. So last out in, what was that, Austria? That was the halfway point.
Yeah. Austria was last time.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're just over halfway through the season. Verstappen has a notable lead on Leclerc in the drivers.
Yeah, he has
standings.
233 points and Leclerc has 170. So that's a decent amount.
So like 60 points.
And it's close beneath Leclerc.
Yeah.
It's a close race all the way to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So we're a little bit over halfway. When does the season end?
I don't know.
Too soon.
Or around?
Too soon.
Oh my word.
I don't understand why it can't be. No, it can't. No, it can't be. year-round.
November 20th.
November 20th. Oh, thank you, Bennett. Good job.
Okay.
Good job with the stats.
So the last race is in 116 days, 13 hours, and 51 minutes.
Wow.
Almost there.
Wow. And so next up is
Hungary.
Oh.
Hungary? I think it's Hungary.
Yeah, Hungary. That's a good circuit.
How many puns do you think there'll be in that
No.
one of, this guy's hungry for a win
Yeah, probably
this
a lot.
week?
Probably
That's
a lot.
going to be
We'll
so
see.
many headlines.
Yeah, everybody's hungry.
Yeah. Ferrari, hungry for revenge. Yeah.
Mostly Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
any other questions?
Um.
Oh, we should talk about Haas.
Haas is literally good.
Okay, so
This is Bennett's lane here.
Haas is currently the only U.S. based Formula One team. They were pretty much a joke to the rest of
Last
Formula
year.
One for several years.
Well, pretty much.
But last season, they abandoned development on their current car
Yeah.
to prioritize development of this year's car, which was a new chassis.
Yeah.
With new aero rules and all kinds of changes.
Yeah.
Which, Bennett, would you say that decision has paid off
Definitely.
this season?
Yeah. Because they've been doing way better. Like, and also getting rid of Nikita Mazepin was definitely a good move. Because they got Kevin Magnussen, who's currently in 11th, which is way better than 19th and 20th like they were last year.
They brought K-Mag back. He was unsigned. right? So he's a little bit of a
older one. He has a lot of experience. I forget. Let's see.
What? So if we're comparing Formula One drivers to beverages, I would say Kevin Magnussen is similar to like the 5-hour energy drink.
What?
Where
he's not good for you.
Like he's really aggressive and he can hit really hard, but sometimes he doesn't.
He's boomer bust.
Sometimes he really backfires on you.
Yeah.
I drank a 5-hour energy one time.
No, you didn't. What?
You haven't heard this story?
Someone bought it for me. My coworker bought it for me in the afternoon because we had a long afternoon of work, and he's like, "Here,
this will help."
Yeah.
This will do.
I'm like, okay, cool. And so it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and yeah.
5 hours would be about 6.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll be able to go to sleep. Yeah, no, I didn't go to sleep until like, I don't know, 2 o'clock the following morning.
What?
And then I had to be up at 5 to go back to work.
Energy.
12-hour energy.
So that's what I'm saying. Kevin Magnussen, like, he's got a lot of like bang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't actually want all of that. Like, he can be a little overly aggressive on track.
Like Max Verstappen.
Max, I genuinely feel, is being more disciplined this year.
Yes, definitely. Because of like the new rules and all that.
I think he's just super driven and focused, and he wanted that championship so bad that he was willing to almost, suffer penalties or anything. Like, he didn't care if everybody in the world, everyone in the world outside of his home country hated him as a driver, if it meant that he got the championship. Well, he got the championship under a lot of disputed circumstances, but he got it.
Controversial.
It is what it is. And I feel like that you can see that in his driving this year.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like he has this. He's still aggressive and he's still pushing all the time, right?
Yeah.
But not overly.
He knows his
boundaries.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he knows a bit more his place. He knows he's the best.
Well, yeah. And,
Instead of having to prove he's the best.
Correct, and I think it helps that Mercedes has been struggling.
Yeah, definitely. Because last year it was just him and
Lewis,
yeah.
So what struggles have you seen out of the Mercedes team?
Well, I think...
Other than position.
Yeah.
Haven't they been, like, working on, like, their car? Like, that's one of the problems, I think. Like, they haven't fully figured out, like, all of, like, the stuff, basically.
All of the stuff?
Yeah. And they tried, I read, like, in the magazine that Lynn gave me, they were talking about how, like, they, like, cut off, not, like, cut off part of the car, but they, like, to decrease weight, they, like, took off a large chunk, like, on, like, the sides.
Side pods.
Yeah. So. And, like,
that hasn't worked very well.
Well, no, they got second and third, I think.
Oh.
No, they were...
Today.
Yeah, today.
Their initial design for aero and weight savings and stuff was eliminating the side pods.
Yeah.
But then they actually put them back on in the most current body design to try. They've been wrestling with porpoising. That was the...
Yeah, because porpoising on is where the bumps up and down.
So the aerodynamics... Right, the airflow over and under the car is controlled to try to create downforce, like a suction cup to the ground, right? But what's happening for Mercedes and other teams is when you draw, like what would happen is at certain speeds, especially higher speeds, because you're creating more downforce, it would shift, the pressure would shift because of those dynamics underneath the car. So it'd be pulling the front down, pulling the back down, and just back and forth, and it just gets worse and worse. But you have to keep pushing the car through it. Mm-hmm. So drivers were literally getting concussed
Oh.
from hitting the back of their helmet. Gung, 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 gung.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good.
yeah, so it's hard to concentrate when
You're getting slammed.
getting smacked in the back of the head,
Yeah.
going 200 miles an hour, and then you have to hit a very narrow braking point and have your car positioned in just the right spot on the track. Where if you're like 6 millimeters outside of that, you might miss the perfect line. Like that's the kind of precision that these guys are dealing with, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like again, Carlos Sainz's team coming on the radio and being like, "Oh, box now!" Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like he's performing surgery on someone, and they're like, "Hey, you should probably like take a break quick." Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of something that's really precise here.
Yeah.
I think that's a good spot to end. If you guys can each give like a condensed, not like
I didn't finish my
summary.
spindrift yet.
I
Oh,
finished mine,
how close
so.
are you to?
A condensed summary.
Well,
of
you can
what?
finish yours while Bennett does his.
Condensed.
Ha!
Of what?
You could have both like smashed them at the end at the same
No,
time.
Of what?
Mine's probably not gonna be.
Not really like an F1 pitch, but kind of like
What?
why people should watch the second half of the season, like the storylines of like
Because it's
what's-
better than NASCAR.
no, like what's on the line here, like why should they care about it? Bennett doesn't like NASCAR. That might be another episode.
Storyline.
They drive around in circles.
Like, yeah, maybe let's do that. Maybe one storyline that you think people
Storyline?
that would get people interested to watch the second half because people like stories. That's what sells.
Storyline.
Yeah,
Why should people be watching?
like a
Why should people pay attention?
I don't know. It's interesting to watch, and it's like really hard to do.
why do you care more about the drivers in F1 than you do in any other racing events?
Well, because I don't watch a ton of other racing events.
Well, but why?
Because I don't.
A lot of people F1 gained a bunch of popularity because of their Netflix series. What was it called?
Oh yeah,
Drive to Survive.
Yeah,
Survive.
DTS.
People got into it because they learned about like the racers and the rivalries and like the storylines.
But there's not like stories in like.
Then how did they make a whole Netflix series?
I haven't
about
watched
it?
that.
No, but I'm saying this season.
There hasn't been a ton of story this season.
Nothing.
Except that
Like
Mick
last year,
Schumacher
the
has
story.
been doing good.
Last year, the story.
we
was,
got
there you
cut
go.
off talking about Haas.
Underdog story. Tell us about that.
Well, Mick Schumacher, his dad was Michael Schumacher, who's like one of the greatest Formula 1 drivers ever. And then he did like he went all the way up. He was doing like really good in F2, I think. And then he went to Formula 1. And then he was with Haas. So, yeah, they did like pretty bad for a while.
How long has he been with them?
2 years? 3 years? 2 or 3, I think.
Okay.
I forget.
So not very long.
I don't think so, because he's a rookie still, technically.
Yeah, I think this.
Wait, you can be a rookie after multiple seasons?
I think this might be his second season.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking, because
But
I thought...
it might actually be his first season.
Well, it was his first season doing, like, actually good.
Mm.
Because last year their cars
Yeah.
sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. There are more storylines than that, right? So
Well,
we have Max Verstappen, who's the defending champion, currently in the points lead.
Yep.
Ferrari has done really well this season with their new car,
Ferrari
the new
came
chassis.
back.
They came back strong. They've been challenging Red Bull the entire time,
Instead of
race
Mercedes.
after race.
Red Bull and Ferrari alternate the top 4.
Yeah,
well,
correct.
and it was like last year. Ferrari basically swapped with Mercedes.
Right.
Since last year.
Again, we have the drama of Ferrari's team dynamics
Yeah.
and just seeming incompetence at times, which is interesting to watch, as frustrating as it is. So, you've got Red Bull, who's they've suffered some engine issues, some mechanical issues. They've had some, DNFs, did not finish in a couple, two or three races. So to still have their number one guy at the top of the points board
Still.
after mechanical failures,
And Sergio
multiple
Perez
mechanical
is in
failures.
third, too, so.
Yeah, and their number 2 guy is doing really well. So like now Red Bull is kind of like the one to beat, whereas Mercedes has been the one to beat for years.
Yeah.
And so you have that dynamic playing out, right? So, but even in Ferrari, like we talked about, you have this dynamic between Leclerc and Sainz, both fantastic drivers. I mean, Leclerc is a phenomenal driver. And so that's interesting to watch. Then you have Mercedes, who was really struggling at the beginning of the season, but is just chipping away at it and not giving up. And now they're, today they finished 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty impressive. And they've got Lewis Hamilton, who's, again, one of the greatest, most winningest drivers in Formula One. Yeah, I think he is, actually. Does he have the most wins?
Probably.
Yeah,
he has, like, the most pole positions, the most wins. Anyway, so, to see him start the season off so badly and fight back in a very polite British way, fight back to where he's at. But he's still their number 1 driver, but now they've got George Russell.
Yep.
Who got pulled into Mercedes.
Instead of Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah. And so there's that. He's kind of like the kid, and like when teams bring in a young QB, they've still got a really high caliber starting quarterback.
It's like Brady and Garoppolo.
Okay, see, there you go. So that's an interesting dynamic to see, shaping up, and watching those points tally up for Mercedes. Like, they're not the reigning champion right now, driver-wise. I'm not sure how the Constructor Championship played out. So that's another
third.
That's another fascinating thing about Formula One, and this might apply to other racing series as well. But so there's the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
Right? So just how you finish the race, what position you finish in. Then there's the Constructor Championship. So that's like for the team. And so, that's an interesting dynamic to watch as well. Because this is a really expensive sport.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like super expensive.
Yes.
And
Like
so if you win the Constructors Championship, you get however many millions of dollars
That's the one that
to add to your budget. So like it's really important for them to win that. So anyway, a lot of interesting dynamics. So that's at the top, right? You've got Red Bull and Ferrari almost on par.
Yeah.
Red Bull has a little bit of an advantage right now because of Ferrari's internal issues. Then you've got Mercedes making a comeback, basically, in sort of what I would call like the 3rd position.
Yeah.
Who would you put at 4th right now?
Me?
Yeah.
Or the actual thing?
Oh, well, okay, go ahead.
Well, Alpine is next, which
Alpine. That's another interesting one. So
they haven't been doing like super good, but like they just not.
But
they've been doing
finishing
better. Yeah.
Yeah, finishing pretty consistently and not too many major mechanical issues.
Yeah.
Alpine's philosophy as a team is lightness over like just more power or whatever, because with less mass you have less to get around the corner.
They're kind of like the Porsche.
Things like that. So they don't have the straight line speed or
Red Bull.
Or acceleration like Red Bull, things like that. They're trying to win by being more efficient than the other teams. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
So they're in 4th.
And
so
then
McLaren?
Yep.
Yeah. So, Alpine has an interesting dynamic where they've got Fernando Alonso, who is also an amazing driver, but he's 41 years old.
Yeah.
Still competitive, super smart racer. He knows it all. Just great strategist. Nice hair, yeah.
We don't have to go over every storyline.
Yeah, no, we do.
But
McLaren has Lando Norris.
And Daniel Ricciardo.
Young, up and coming. But Ricciardo seems to be on his way out.
And then Alfa Romeo, which has another story because they, Haas, have been doing way better this year.
Alfa Romeo?
Yeah.
So they picked up...
Valtteri.
Yeah, Valtteri. And who's their second driver?
It's like isn't it like Zhou Guanyu or whatever?
Zhou, yeah, the first Chinese Formula One driver.
Yeah, it's Zhou.
So trying to pull in the China market.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's a lot going on. All the way through the field, and it's fun to watch. Seeing Haas, as an American viewer, seeing Haas be competitive. I mean, nobody expected them to be at the top of the field, but to see them be competitive in the midfield,
like
and
you can actually see them like on screen instead of
and not always be just like all the way at the back or did not finish over and over again is exciting. It's exciting to see.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're building.
Yeah.
So Haas seems
Unlike
like the nice underdog story.
Yeah,
and plus, I assume most people watching this are American, so there's a little bias there.
You know what it's kind of like? It's like when the Eagles or the Phillies or any other local team
that's decent.
Brings in a player who's actually local. Like when Sean McCoy got drafted.
Oh, yeah.
LaShawn.
What did I say?
McCoy.
Sean.
Sean?
It's LaShawn.
LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
It's been years.
Yeah. He went to Pitt.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
he's from
it makes it more exciting to watch, right? Because you're like, oh, it's like a local guy.
Yeah.
Sort of playing, on a team. And so even though Haas's drivers are not Americans, you got to do what you got to do to have, unless you're Nicholas Latifi's team. Williams. And then you're just like, we'll take whoever will sit in this car and drive it.
You can still like Williams.
But it's exciting to see sort of a homegrown team, Haas, compete.
Yeah.
It's okay that they're not winning races. Like, watching Schumacher hold off Lewis Hamilton for how many laps? 5 laps?
Might have been even more, but yeah.
Was like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And where did he finish? Where did Mick finish in that race? It wasn't even great. Like maybe 7th.
It wasn't a race though. I think it was like qualifying.
No.
I thought
it was a race. I think he finished like 8th or
his
something.
His best race was I think he was 7th or 8th.
But it's like it was so exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because it's Haas, just because it's a home team.
Okay. Nice. Do you want to end episode 159 by declaring Haas the official team of all sports all the time?
Haas is the official team of all sports all the time. So if Haas wants to sponsor us, great.
Just like Spindrift is the official drink of all sports all the time now, I guess.
Absolutely.
For sure.
You know when people do this and it's like, it makes like the car noise?
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta fold it in half.
I thought he meant shotgun.
I'm gonna shotgun this Spindrift.
I'm not gonna edit and shotgun this.
You mean when people make a whistling noise with it?
Yeah, but it sounds like a car.
You want to try it?
No, mine's already cracked. You have to get it perfect. Like you have to bend it perfectly. See, it doesn't. See, it doesn't work.
It sounds like a revving motor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to have you try it. Real quick.
I already tried it.
Oh, he shotgunned it. There we go. It's a good way to end it.
Don't forget, racing is inevitable.
Oh yeah, that was your first episode, right?
Yep.
Go back, find it.
I think it's in the 30s or 40s.
Thank me later.
Yep.
Cool. I don't have Parker here to do an outro.